You're listening to 15 Minutes, where we feature community leaders sharing what the rest of us should know but likely don't.
Moving on, when we're talking about other people, who's with that and thought, who's your biggest mentor, and what one piece of advice did they give you that really, stuck out?
I've been really lucky to have a lot. Like I've had, so Mark O'Mara and Don West were incredible.
Just one, Mike.
I was going to say also Trish Cashman, who's another veteran attorney in Orlando.
Okay, so what did Mark give you? And say his name one more time for me, please.
No, I'm not choosing one. What I will say is,
no, that's what I'm saying. Go. I wanted you to tell me both. The first one was Mark.
Let me just tell you something. What I think all of the people that have been mentors in my life, the biggest thing that they've shown me, it's not necessarily what they've said. It is the idea of being consistent when things are very bad or seem hopeless in a legal case, in whatever, or very, very good, and things are going really, really well in life on a personal level or in law or whatever. It's the discipline of the attitude of consistency. That's what I would say is what I've taken from these people. That's why I consider them mentors and people I want to be like, being consistent no matter what is happening. I think it's more about the way my mentors have lived than necessarily a line that they've said.
Well, since you don't want to name one, you name two. Give me the top three. I named
three so far.
Well, I didn't hear them. That's what I'm saying. I'm shut up. Can you just name them again, please?
Mark O'Mara, Don West, Trish Cashman, and a guy named Bob Yates.
Was that Bob, like B-O-B? Bob?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So give me just a couple daily rituals that are what would be the most, important in your typical day?
I think a day is strong if you can center yourself before like jumping onto your email. Like for me, I know that I have probably 100 emails, maybe 50 that I haven't seen since the last time I checked, which was, I guess, before I went to bed.
Right. 8 hours ago, maybe.
Well, I mean, it's not like 100
not even
hours,
8,
but it's a lot, So if I wake up and immediately go to my email account, then it's already on the wrong foot, because now all of a sudden I'm just into whatever it was, and now I'm chasing. I think for me, at least, it's taking the day captive and commanding it and telling the day, this is how the day is going to be. I'm not getting hit by the waves of just whatever's happening and trying to somehow stay afloat. I want to tell the waves where to go.
You want to have a plan of action? Would that be a fair?
The only way to do that, I think, is to and I'm not that great at this. I'm actively working on it, is to not open the email. And it's to focus in the morning on just calm and peace, whether that's reading, whether that's a time of prayer, whether that's spending time with my kids, whatever it is. It's just, I know the waves are out there. I'm well aware. I'm not ignoring.
Yeah, we're not hiding from life. I do the same thing, so that's why I say it's not hiding. It's just preparing.
Yeah, we'll get there. And for me, any one of the things I just mentioned on a daily ritual sets the day into a very powerful day, even if it's an extraordinarily serious evidentiary hearing or a trial.
Do you find yourself still doing those, just out of curiosity, on the weekends, just to start your day, even though the weekend is usually a release of work? Do you still kind of get up and do the same things?
I try to take the weekend and make that an extended that time. I try to make that.
So that's just the entire weekend from Friday, get off work until Monday.
Obviously, I don't think there's such a thing as necessarily a work-life balance. I think there's a work-life integration. I think that is more accurate when you're a business owner and a lawyer.
Like a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah. Emergencies happen, things come up, and you absolutely
have to deal with life. Right.
And you have to know which ones you've got to get to right now, or else it's going to affect somebody else in a negative way, and which ones you don't. And I think that as far as the weekend's concerned, I try to take as much time as I can. And I wasn't good at this before, and I'm still working on it, but take as much time as I can on the balance activities and address things as needed in my work-life integration, right? And during the work week, it's sort of flipped. But I don't see this as it's the weekend, So all of a sudden my clients don't exist. And I don't say this, it's the week, so my family doesn't exist. It's an integration, but I think that the percentage of balance changes depending on where we are and what everyone else is doing.
You know, it's funny, just to kind of touch back on what you said there a minute ago, but you know, whether you believe in God, nothing, God, you know, your beliefs, it's not like God says, you know, just between 9 and 5, I'm going to deliver you the problems of business. And then outside of those hours, I'm going to deliver you the problems of your personal life.
Right.
You know, you don't have, there's some stupid show my buddy wants me to watch called Severance, I think is the name of it. I don't know if you heard about this on Apple TV, but it's literally where they don't have memory. We're talking about it kind of like, well, they go to work, they do their work, but when they get back home, they have no memory of what they did at work and vice versa. It's like two separate people that they're cut once they walk through those doors at work time. And then once they leave. Isn't that crazy? Crazy thought. So
look, I don't think there is there is a work life. Some people like literally like go to work at whatever, 8 and they clock out at 5 and that's it. And that's okay.
I can't do it.
But some jobs are like that.
Well, I agree. There are jobs you can't perform like that.
If you're a cashier at
what's there to think about when you get off work?
Who knows? There might be a lot of stresses, but I'm just saying that job itself, you clock in, you clock out, and the grocery store's there. And if you're not a manager, you're not worried about whatever. I'm just saying that for me, it's got to be an integration because my work and my family are both parts of me, and my faith is part of me, and guitar is something that is part of me.
Well, and to me, they're all happening all the time. That was my point.
It's got to be integrated, and it's got to be.
It has to be, because it's not. Again, there's no clock that says these things are going to happen here. I think criminal defense guys know that best. And what I mean by that is every time I talk to you, you're usually extremely busy and up late because crimes are happening all through the. You know, they happen all the time any time of the day. You know?
Yeah.
So anything can happen at any time of the day. That's the world we live in.
Law enforcement still arrests people after 5 o'clock.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, in closing, what is your favorite podcast, or do you have one?
Yeah, I've got a couple, but my absolute favorite is probably Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend.
Got it. That's your absolute favorite. What's your next one?
The Ramsey Show.
The Ramsey Show. I'll have to check that one out.
Financial podcast.
No, I get it. What's your favorite conference as an attorney?
National Trial Lawyers. I'm proud to be part of that organization. They do a summit every year in South Beach.
Oh, it's always the same place every year?
It's always been at the PSA to anybody at NTL that's listening. It's always been at the Lowe's until last year. What was it, at the Bellagio or something? It was terrible. We've got to do it back at the Lowe's.
You're hoping they go back. I get it.
I bet you it is back at the Lowe's because I don't think I'm the only one who feels this way. But yes, it's always in South Beach. But the National Trial Lawyers is a great conference to be a part of.
Oh yeah, no. I get it. I have two last questions for you. The first one is a goofy one. So, what is the craziest thing that you've ever done?
Born and raised in Florida, right?
Yep.
So I had never seen snow in my life until the day after I was married, because we got off an airplane and it was 78 degrees in Orlando on New Year's Day, and we flew into Jackson Hole, Wyoming, where it was -18
and snow covered.
So like a 100-degree swing almost or whatever. Right. So anyway, I'm saying we're doing all the snow stuff. We rent these snowmobiles and they had a guided tour. And I'm like, we don't need a guided tour. I've been on a wave runner, whatever.
Right.
So we're going to take these snowmobiles up through the Teton Mountains. And they warned us and they said, listen, if you don't make it to the top of the mountain where there's a lodge by 2, then don't come back down. Just keep going. And if it's after 2 when you get there, stay, because it'll get dark by 4:30 and you'll get eaten by like wild Wyoming animals.
Right.
So we're like, okay. So we're out there trying to book it on these things, trying to get up to the top of the mountain. Everything's white, like crazy white. Down is white, up's white, around's white. It's great. I've never seen snow like this, like snow.
Right. It's just right. And you've never experienced snow.
Never experienced snow. And I'm just like having the time of my life, like rocking on this. My wife of a day is behind me on a snowmobile. and I'm just booking it. And next thing I know, I disappear because I'm going as fast as I can. And it turns out I drove the thing off a freaking cliff. And I had like a really like, and I don't know. I'm not like trying to. So I'm not expecting. I just thought there was still snow in front of me. But the way the perspective was, it just seemed like, and I'm gone. And she just sees me and then gone. So next thing you know, she's screaming, thinking I'm dead. I don't know what happened.
Did you crash?
I did not crash. I landed what honestly seems like, and this might be an exaggeration, but I do not think it is, 50 to 60 feet down. And I'm looking up, and there she is, like 5 stories up on like where we were. And she's like, Mike. And I'm like,
so you decided to try out for extreme sports. You're like, it's my first time. I'm going to go extreme.
Extreme. I wasn't trying to be extreme. I was just trying to go. I didn't know it ended.
That's crazy. Right. That's crazy. All right. Last but not least, here's one just for all the other attorneys out there. You know, obviously we're hoping that a lot of attorneys will listen and get something from this, but what's your favorite tool and or software that you use in concerns to lawyers?
Here's what it is. So I've used a bunch of things in the past and stuff that just didn't work, and pay-per-click and whatever else. And sometimes sometimes it's not. What has worked for me has been video. So high quality video, not crap video.
Right.
And it has been SEO. It has been taking the plunge to do Gladiator. I'm not just saying that gratuitously. The Gladiator's been good for a couple of reasons. One, because the product, you guys do a good product. That's why I think, like, I've been with you guys for years now. So I think that there's, it's not like I just jumped on, you asked me to do a podcast.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But there's a reason. And partly also because all of these other like tangential things, like what am I doing with Google? What am I doing with like local service ads?
Right.
What are we doing with reviews? All these like other components that go into SEO. Gladiator is awesome. Like you have Haley. I sent her an email. Like right now, I know that I sent her an email before this about something totally unrelated. I am positive that whenever we're done with this and I check, she would have already.
There'll be if nothing more, she'll at least say, "Hey, I'm on it. Give me a few, and I'll have
it'll be done. It'll be done. I'm positive of that because that's just been the way it is. So I think that there are cheap SEO companies, and then there are correct ones. And I don't think Gladiator is the only one that's good. No. I think there are several. But I have had a good experience, which is why I've stuck with you guys. But I don't think it's just Gladiator.
No, would you agree that that one of the criteria though for a good SEO agency is that they are law specific and are not trying to do other necessarily other practice area, or not practice area, but other avenues, other verticals of business, other place? Because I mean, the one thing that I think you've gotten from us, and I think you have learned, you already know that your industry is unlike anything else, but marketing for it, and on that same note, is not like doing anything else SEO on the web. It's a completely different ballgame when you're trying to get one of you guys. One, there is a harsh amount of competition. There's a huge number of attorneys for every single practice area out there, right? And they're all trying to vie for your business. And I'll just tell you, man, it's not the same. There's a lot of people that have, less competition, or all you have to do is make a few posts a couple of months, and next thing you know, you're ranking. I don't know an attorney that comes to us that it doesn't take us about a year and a half to get them where they're trying to get to, because it's just it's a long, drawn out game. Just to be transparent, it's not like something overnight, and it's like you said, you took the punch to do it. Well,
to answer your question, all I can speak to is what my prior experience has been. I did use another company that had other businesses that they were targeting and whatever else. It actually, it didn't work. So there's that as far as ranking. But worse, it sort of like, I think, hurt my online reputation because
they didn't know what they're doing.
Yeah, because the image just wasn't out there in a way that I would have liked it to be, and what was actually more true to me and stuff. So it was actually more of a detractor. So yeah, that's what attracts me to Gladiator.
I'll even go further, and I mean this wholeheartedly, but once you actually get into law firm marketing, one of the big things that you realize makes it so different is that you do not market a bankruptcy attorney the same way you market a personal injury attorney, or the same way you market a family attorney, or criminal defense. I can go on and on. Every single practice area warrants a different approach because it's a different problem that your potential client is facing, period. And
Yep.
it's, no two practice areas are the same, no two cities are the same, and no two firms are the same. So it's why it's massively different. I would say probably the only thing that I've experienced that's maybe close to it, and they just don't do the same. Doctors don't do it like lawyers do, in the sense of the marketing that lawyers put out, and what they have to do. And I mean, I say that because if you're not, then you're not going to get seen. And that's what you've experienced too. If you're not doing a certain amount, then your competition, your local guys, unless you have some awesome pipeline of continual criminals that just know to come to you, they have to find you some way. And if you're not in the places they're looking, then odds are you're not going to get the call. And that's my only point, is that it's a much different scope. Not just different for law, it's different for each and every practice area.
I think that's right. I hope that's right.
It is.
I know that my online presence looks different than even any other criminal defense attorney.
And I
think it's also attorney specific too.
Well, yeah, and I think I don't know if you remember, but we were under a lot of how do I say it? When people go look at Panella, it's PanellaLawFirm.com, right? Panella Law Firm. Yeah. So when people go look at PanellaLawFirm.com, just know that when we built this too, this was right at the beginning of the shutdown. I think you signed on like around the end of February. Literally, it's like the end of February, and then March 6th was the national shutdown. So he couldn't get pictures, and we really had to take anything and everything that you gave us to build you that site. And quite frankly, I think it still speaks highly, and not to gloat. I know that sounds probably a little gloaty, but it's not only better than all the other ones, but we kind of did it with one arm tied behind our back.
Well, I'm glad you feel that way. I like it too.
Oh, I love it. I do. I'll just let you know. I mean, I use your site all the time when I'm talking to folks. That's beside the point. So anyway, I don't have anything else. Those are all the questions. I wanted to thank you so much again, Mike, for being with us. I know we went a little bit long, so I may tell them to just do this in two parts and record a little blurb to split it up.
or chop it up, however, whatever makes sense.
Yeah, we might do that. We'll see. Either way, though, thank you so much for being here again. I appreciate it. And I'm going to come back and ask you again probably in a year or so.
No problem, man. Always good talking to you.
Always good talking to you, Mike. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to 15 Minutes. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.